Kia ora, ngā mai ki te whare. Welcome to The House, Kolui Collins aho. One of the most recognisable parts of Parliament is question time.
House comes to oral question. The first name of the Honourable Marama Davidson.
But perhaps lesser known is the prescribed purpose of question time. For context, Parliament has three main jobs. It provides a government from amongst its own members, it considers and approves legislation, and it holds the government's actions and spending to account. Keeping tabs on the government involves various forms of interrogation, one of them being question time. MPs can quiz ministers about their decisions, actions or anything else related to their role in a 1-hour session at the start of the sitting day. It isn't quite a free-for-all debate though. Up to 12 questions can be asked of the government and they have to be submitted earlier in the day. This has resulted in a few template questions emerging as MPs try to use this tool to their advantage.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. Does he stand by all of his government statements and actions?
Does she stand by all her statements and actions in relation to...
This is basically a no spoilers question because while the primary question has to be sent in earlier in the day, the follow-up questions, or supplementaries, do not. The intent of the question is hidden in the follow-ups, and the Minister's ability to answer off the cuff is put to the test. For the Leader of the Opposition, Chris Hipkins, the topic of today was cost of living.
Supplementary. Why does he claim to have the cost of living under control when administered... Supplementary question. Did his government's decision to cut funding for public transport? Supplementary question. Does he accept that the government's decision to increase transmission charges is driving up power bills? Its decision to increase net...
The subsequent back and forth often turns into a verbal sparring match between those in government and those in opposition, with each side attempting to use their speaking slot to point out the other's flaws.
In light of the first part of that question, I'd say to the member the energy prices are a function of his administration's banning of oil and gas and the fact that we do not have a supply of gas in this country, which has led to elevated electricity prices. Again, I'd say to that member, think about the position and support reversing the oil and gas ban.
The rules of the House dictate that any MP can ask follow-up questions, and those on the government side often jump in and offer up what's referred to in parliamentary shorthand as a patsy question.
Can the Prime Minister confirm that this government is carefully managing its own finances so that New Zealanders face a lower rate of inflation and falling interest rates as a result?
I can, and what I can confirm is that this is a government that won't be looking to increase prices for New Zealanders by increasing the inflation band target as that member proposes.
MPs who feel the rules have been broken can complain to the Speaker of the House, Jerry Brownlee, who decides whether or not it's in line.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Point of order, the Right Honourable Chris Hipkins.
Mr Speaker, the claim that the Prime Minister's just made is totally and utterly incorrect. And it is an exact example of what you have said the government shouldn't do, which is use patsy questions from the people sitting right beside them in order to attack the opposition making false claims about the opposition.
The question itself was in order. The answer was most certainly not. And I think the last comment should be withdrawn.
Withdrawn.
Sometimes the Speaker intervenes before there's even a chance to kick up a fuss with a question or answer.
The Honourable Nicola Willis.
Can the Prime Minister confirm that one of the first actions of his government was to stop the petrol tax increases which had been scheduled by the last government?
Okay, that's an out-of-order question. Right Honourable Chris Hipkins.
So why bother if there's no way to force an answer? Well, it's all in the name of transparency and accountability. Scheduling this public exchange allows MPs to point out the other side's shortcomings, which ultimately allows the public to tune in and decide for itself whether it thinks their elected representatives are doing a good job. You can watch Question Time both live and on demand by heading to the Parliament video website. I te whakarongo koe ki te whare. You've been listening to The House, a program made with funding from Parliament's Office of the Clerk. Matua.